Welcome back to Out Loud with Steve and Mal. It is our segment that we've decided to call We've Cornered Another Celebrity. Today's celebrity is actor and former pro boxer Andy Gatenby. Andy, welcome to the program, my friend.
Thank you.
The first thing I have to say is you're too pretty, one, to be a boxer and too pretty to be on this show. So right now, I understand why Mal wanted you on here. Me, I need to get you off the show right now.
Did he just say that? What are you like?
I did.
We'll turn your camera off if you've got kind of a bit of a complex.
I do. I have a lot of, if you've listened to the show, there's a lot of complexes that go on. So Andy, first thing, so you go from a boxer to an actor. How does one person do that? That doesn't seem to fit in my mind.
Yeah, my boxing career come to a bit. It failed a little bit early because I failed my medical in the end. So I sort of didn't have any choice to retire from boxing. So I was a little bit sort of lost after that and didn't really know what to do. And then one day sort of watching a film at home and the acting was pretty bad in it. And then I made a bet with my wife I could do a better job, and then it started from there.
Wait a second, was I in that film?
It's the film that Steve was in. Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. That bad.
I wasn't going to say nothing, but
oh my God. Ugh. I need to be in a film with you then. I need to out act you.
Oh.
That's a pretty good stretch to go from a boxer getting your head beat in, although you were 6-0, I read. And then Mal was, before I bring her in, she was working out, she's doing kickboxing, and she said she might be able to take you. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying right there.
Yeah. Steve, when did I do kickboxing? Sorry, Andy, don't believe a word he says, and don't do any kind of acting with Steve. He'll obviously kind of stomp all over your lines and stuff. So yeah.
How do you go from boxing to acting? Like, did you have training or anything? Because I would think anything in sports would translate to the discipline that it takes to be an actor.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sort of every single attribute that gave me sort of success in boxing converted over to acting. So getting up early, that work ethic, so having that self-belief, having that like mental grit, that sets me apart from like 50% of actors straight away, just from the off start. So you can't teach that to someone. It's either in you and it's ingrained in you, or it's not. So I've had that in me my whole life. So now it's just a case of just substituting and learning the technical side of it, and then all the confidence, the screen presence, and everything. I already had that already. So it was it was good.
That's pretty good. So you've been in the most people know you from Nemesis, Card Dead, and World's Most Evil Killers. I like the idea of evil killers right there.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun to do something like that.
Yeah, it was
so
good.
were those a stretch for you? So walk me through that process with that for the audition, and then next thing you know, you've got the part. That must be pretty exhilarating, considering how fast you've done this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And sort of the hardest thing about acting is how many no's you get. So that's where the mental resilience and the grit comes in, because you could do 100 auditions and you could hear no every time, and it wouldn't be nothing to do with like how good you are or any of your ability or anything like that. It's just you weren't built for that role. So when you get the yeses come in, you've got to celebrate them. And they sort of like they come when you don't expect them. You know, you get used to sending the auditions, and then all of a sudden your agent's on the phone. She's like, "Yeah, you booked it." And you're like, "Yes."
So Andy, how soon was it till you landed your first part from your first audition?
So I made a bet when I first started acting that I'd get in the film within the first year, and I've done it. I got in the film within the first year. So it took about sort of 11 months, I think. I just hit the bet by the skin of its teeth.
Okay. So did you know anyone in that industry, or was that just kind of a transition of going for auditions and going in blind?
Yeah, just went in completely blind. I learned like the hard way. Sort of even had a few auditions where like I'd go in there. I had an audition for the Men in Black film before. It was one of my first auditions.
Wow.
When I went into the casting, there was like, "Oh, can you give us your profiles?" Where when they ask for profiles, you have to stand there in front of the camera, then give me side on profile, either side, and then straight forward.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no worries. And there was like, go on. Then I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just kept staring at them, laughing. And they were like, "Do you know what profiles are?" I was like, "No."
That's what Steve does. Yeah, Steve does that before the show. He does it every time before he comes on camera. It's like a bit of a vanity thing. You do it every time, don't you? You just missed it before you came on.
But in Hollywood, they'd say, "Can we zoom back? He's a little too tall." Because I'm on the taller side. You know, in Hollywood, everyone is, they're all about the same height. They're like, "Could we like zoom back just a little bit? He's kind of tall for the scene."
Yeah.
So I was, that was the issues that I would have too. But always fun. There's something to be said that the less that you know, it's actually going to help you, because those who are thespians, as we say, take it way too seriously. And film acting and TV acting is really, it's just that moment. And then you jump scenes, and you're doing some other scene that's not correlated at all. It's not linear. That I think is the most difficulty in all that. And I'm sure that was something that you had to comprehend, that you're in one scene and then we're going to change scenes automatically and change kind of your action.
100%. It's all the technical sides that come into it, and sort of the everything else that goes with that. But I say to people all the time, as long as you're willing to learn and you've got the right mindset, you start from anywhere and you do well. So it's the people that sort of close books and they don't want to learn new stuff, or they think they're good, then they're better than they are, then they're the ones that are sort of going to be limited. But if you've got an open mindset and you just keep willing to take on new information, then there's no limit to where you can go, you know?
Yeah. I saw how disciplined you are on your recent Twitter, saying that you're turning your phone off between 5 and 8 p.m. every day for family time. Like, how is that going? Because I couldn't do that. I'm useless. I do have a family, trying to juggle and I completely respect what you're doing. It's amazing. You know, can you give anyone any tips on that front? Because it would make the world a better place by doing that, I think.
Yeah, 100%. So I know that sort of I struggle. I'm so busy all the time. I'm working, I'm acting, I'm sort of always got something going on. So I know that I'm conscious that I'm not always in the moment, and I miss parts of life that I'm just my mind somewhere else, or someone will be talking to me and I'm looking at them. But if I'm honest, I'm not even in the room. I'm like just daydreaming. I'm daydreaming about going to Hollywood, you know. So I want to make a really conscious effort of being in the moment. So I've set a new goal, and I've got like a group of goals, and I call them the non-negotiables, where nothing will interrupt it. It's on as soon as it's on the board as a non-negotiable, nothing will interrupt that thing. So now from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m, my phone's away. It's uninterrupted time with the kids and my wife. Brilliant. And then sort of I'm there, I'm in the moment, I'm conscious, and I'm aware of everything. Like we get to speak, we get to share dinner, and I'm in the moment, where before I'd be there, but I'd be like, my little boy's coming up to me and I'm like looking at something else, and I'm like, and then when I go to bed I think, I missed the really good moment with him then, because he was giving me that and I was away. So I'm like in the moment. That's awesome. And a non-negotiable every day, that's me there.
I'm going to try that for a week. I know that I'll try and do that in production meetings, because of everything's non-negotiable once Steve's in the production meeting, isn't it, Steve? Yeah,
it's true. And my life's different. So I've got those 3 hours where my kids don't want to talk to me. They're like, Dad, could you just like stick to that? It would be perfect.
Go. So obviously you've had the chance of being an assassin. You've obviously kind of worked with loads of people that kind of have been kind of the baddies and whatever, kind of with what you've been doing as your roles. Between me and Steve, who do you think, just on face value, would make the best assassin, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
Clearly her.
Your impersonations.
Clearly her, because she'd be like, oh, I'm so sweet, I'm a princess. Boom.
That's what I would do.
Back of the head.
See that coming. There you go.
Absolutely. Now you've got an assassin. Let's turn you into a florist. Okay. Could you be a florist, Andy? Come on now, in a film. Come on.
Gotta be a florist. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go a florist. Yeah,
I can't see Andy arranging flowers, Steve. Can you go on to the next question?
Why not? You got like The Rock out there. You mentioned that you like to meet The Rock. He does. He is one of the funniest people in person. You wouldn't believe how funny he was. And with I think it was Central Intelligence, where I was on the set for that. He was just so funny. And he could play any role. I think he's better in comedy than the other stuff. So I think you could do that. You could be a florist, Danny. I'm telling you, you could be.
100%.
Yeah, of course. Have you got a dream role, Andy? Is there something you're aiming for that you've got your eye on the prize?
Yeah, I'd love to have a part in like a mainstream prison series. I think that'd be really good to get into.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what role are you going to play in that? How are we going to cast you?
Yeah, I'll be all in the prisoners when I love the bad roles. I love playing the baddie, the antagonist, everything. Yeah. They're the fun roles for me to play.
They're far more fun. So they're far more fun.
Yeah. So who's been the best person so far, without getting you in trouble, that's been kind of an inspiration to work with? Is there anyone
it'd have to be, yeah, Billy Murray's been the best by far. Yeah, he's
I knew you were going to say that.
He's a national gem, isn't he? He's
absolutely, completely, amazing.
And what he doesn't know about acting ain't worth knowing. He's been there, he's done it. He's done so much that sort of having the experience to learn from someone like that, you can't beat it, you know. So yeah, it's class.
That's amazing, fantastic.
So what type of advice have you gotten that you said that makes a lot of sense, and in the reverse, no, that's not going to work for me?
I find a lot of actors when I speak to them, they don't work. They don't work smart. They don't sharpen their act. So they're just like the story about the lumberjack race, just chopping trees all day. And he starts off, he cuts 20 trees down in the first day, then 15 in the second, 5 the day after that, and on the last day he can only chop 1 tree, but he's chopping all day long. And then when he goes to someone for advice, they're like, "When was the last time you sharpened your axe?" And he'd never sharpened it. So you need to sharpen your axe. You're just chopping trees all day, you're never going to get anywhere, or you're just going to get stuck in that rut. So I say to people all the time, you need to work smart, but you need to work hard as well. So you got to think outside the box and work on, you treat it like a business and create like action plans. So have goals in place and then set targets and give yourself weekly targets that you must hit to get to that bigger goal, you know? So
Andy, I'm learning so much here. I think you should be doing a life coaching course with us for Out Loud. I'm just like, me and Steve are sitting there. We've been really quiet today, haven't we? We're listening. It's amazing.
Well, I've lost you. I went there. Someone's trying to call me. I've gone.
Yeah,
no, that's
so
okay.
Back. There we go. He's back. Yes.
So what you're talking. I was going to say, what advice would you give to anybody that is just kind of starting out? What's your kind of your kind of top 2 golden rules, do you think, that you've learned since you've taken the jump into acting?
The first, I'd say, get used to no, and no is got no. It doesn't mean anything. It's not that you were too small, too big. You weren't good enough. It's nothing to do with you. When they write that role and they've got that in mind, all the creative people have seen that person already, even though you might not even exist. So as soon as they see your face, straight away they can see whether you match that role or you don't. And then different things can sway it, but just get used to hearing no and don't take it personally. You know. And the second one I'd say is try and find people that are on the same journey as you, because the quickest way to kill a dream is to tell it to a small-minded person. So if you're surrounding yourself by people that are not on the same wavelength as you, whenever you have an idea or you want to pursue something, they're just going to put you down straight away and shoot you down and be like, "Oh, you can't do that," or "I don't think you could do that," because they'll pass their own securities onto you. So try and find a group of like-minded people that you can sort of share that journey and or confide with on that specific route, you know.
That's a really good thing.
I'd agree with that, because the hardest thing about that is human nature is, I don't want you to get ahead of me. Let's stay together. So I need to slow you down so we stay together. And it's very difficult, especially in today's society. It's me, what's my gratification? I'm not getting any gratification from you because you're too far ahead. And people have to be willing to be singular. You have to be willing to be alone in that journey at some point. That's the most difficult thing it is. I've been alone a lot with what it is that I want to do. Same with Mal, with her music and things of that sort. It's a tough thing to be a creative, what we call a creative. Now, that the discipline that you have comes from being an athlete. That's where it comes from. So I tell parents all the time, put your kids in something. They learn to work with others. They work with the same goal to win a game or whatever it is. And that's where they learn to be with other kids and get away from your parents.
They become teachable then, don't they? They learn that, you know, they're not going to win every weekend. They become teachable. They learn new skills. If they're not good enough, they get coached how to do it a better way. So sports at a young age, I think, fundamentally help people as adults.
Even if you're bad, you know, the kids I used to have, even the worst kids, I had the better kids help them. They learned something. It's like, well, it's not about you anymore. It's about the team. Now you bring up the one point about hearing no all the time. And I always think it's like dating. We're men. We hear no all the time, unlike Mal, who heard
no. Can I interrupt? Can I interrupt? No, you hear no all the time, and Andy hears yes. So he hasn't got.
Boom! I just got the knockout. Boom! But with that, the premise of this show, let's face it, is relationships. Okay, I do not think you had any problems with relationships. Let's look at his eyes. Yes? No?
I'm looking in Andy's eyes here. Hold on a sec.
Yeah. See, he even
He's
moved
got a
forward.
bit red. Is Andy blushing?
Yeah,
He's got
he
a
is.
blush going on there.
Issues. I mean, growing up, how was it growing up trying to date and stuff in your teens? Were you one of those guys that had the ladies kind of swarming around? You know, the Mals and all the girls like, "Oh my God, look at Andy." You know, the flirtatious ones.
Me. No, not
you
really.
Specifically, Mal, but how was growing up? Was it a struggle? Like even as a teen, you know, as much as we wish that we could talk to girls and stuff, it's hard for guys, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really found it difficult, to be honest, but it's
he's a dude. He's a bro. Look at that.
He's a bro.
He's a bro. You know, got it by heart. I'm like Mal, like, oh my God. So we were talking about, although we talk of this subject all the time about, although I don't want to talk about the 3-date rule, but like with your wife, how did you know that she was the one? Was it one date, or as Mal would say, 109 dates?
No, I was pretty lucky, to be fair, because we've been together like 13, nearly 14 years now. But
Wow.
hand on my heart, literally as soon as I saw her, I was out with one of my mates at the time, and I pointed to him, I pointed over to her, and I said, "I'm going to marry her," and that was it. I went over, introduced myself, and that was it. Yeah, but I told him that before I'd even spoke to her. I said hello or anything.
Brilliant. And how long was it from when you met her to when you married her?
We've been married 9 years next week.
Oh,
So I
that's
think
amazing.
4 years. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's sweet. We'll have to ask her the same question if she had, looked at you and either one like,
Yeah.
And I'm going to marry him. That one over there.
Now, did you have a line for her, or were you really smooth when you walked over there?
No, I weren't smooth. I went over and asked if she had a lighter, and I had a cigarette in my mouth, but it was around the wrong way, and I was trying to light the wrong end of the fag. And then she was like, "Your fag's the wrong way," and then I was like, "Oh no, I just put it on the floor." So
That is
how it
the
started.
perfect line. That is, guys, that is the perfect way to
If you
walk
want to try it, get the cigarette, flip it round. She's a good opener to spark the butter.
Love it.
Mal, would that have worked on you?
Yeah. Most probably.
Oh my God.
There you go.
We love this.
We do love this.
Well, that's how it should go. So with that, if you weren't a boxer, people ask this all the time. Like if it didn't work out for boxing, if it didn't work out for acting, where do you think you might have gone then? I mean, it took a lot of discipline for those, and you just don't know how acting's going to work out. Okay, everybody has something else to do.
Yeah.
You've been pretty lucky at this point.
The boxing didn't work out. To me, I got to 6 fights unbeaten. My next fight was for the English title, and then I failed my medical. So I got hit with that blow. I stopped. I regrouped, and then I knew I needed to transition that energy and commitment I had into something. So then I substituted it for acting. So I've already made that transition where something's been taken away, and I was like, well, I'm not going to just sit down and feel sorry for myself, and I don't want to be that person in the pub or a bar like in 20 years. Drunk at the bar saying, "Oh, I could have been a champion. I could have been a boxer." I wanted to cut that off straight away and find something new to channel that energy. So it like with acting, there's no end date on it. There's no, you could be 90, 95, 100, just there's still roles for you, so it's
so what's happening over the next kind of 6 months for Andy's world? What's been kind of planned? Have you got anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, I'm just working on a feature film script at the minute, so I'm trying to get that wrapped up. And we've got just like location scouting and trying to do a few things to sort of make my own luck as well as just regularly getting auditions coming in from the agent side. So yeah, doing both.
So how are we doing for our auditions for your film?
You found? Yeah. I'll go you
on the sheet. Is it Steve?
We kill him early in the film.
He gets shot in the first 10 seconds.
That's right. Please, I show my face. I go like this. Hi, Mom. And then I get killed.
Gone.
That's how that goes.
That's hilarious, actually.
I can do that. I'm an easy target. I'm just like, you're casting a shadow. Get out of the screen. That I think I remember that was kind of the funniest part, or at least I found it funny in Hollywood, where they'd be talking about casting a shadow because I'm a little taller than most people.
Yeah.
Can we move him? There's a shadow. I'm like, I can't help it. You're short. Jesus. What do you want me to do? Michael J. Fox, you're going to have to either step in a box or he's going to have to step on a box. I'm like, okay, so I'll be in a box below the set. Great. Perfect.
Andy, just going back to what you just said. So is that something you've actually written yourself, what you were just talking about?
Yeah, we're just in the process of it now. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you've managed to get onto the creative writing side as well as performance. So you're on both sides of things.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because the best way to promote yourself is to write the role for yourself. So
sure,
when you're auditioning, you got to wait for that one role to come up that you're right for. They could be sort of like one every 500 that's really made for you. But obviously, if you write the material yourself, it's perfect for you. So there's no better way to showcase your skill set than making that role for yourself.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. So is there like a pilot being planned for that being filmed?
Yeah, there will be. Yeah, and we'll sort of go down the investing route and that, and go from there. So yeah, hopefully we get something kicked off like early next year. Yeah,
you'll get it done. You'll get it done, Andy. It is a pleasure to have you on Out Loud. As you move along, you are welcome on this show at any time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Andy.
There we go. That's Andy Gatenby. Go follow him on Twitter and Instagram. You're listening to Out Loud. We'll be back.